How you doing, YouTube? Matt Massive Beer Reviews back with yet another review. A little bit of peach laden, 8% alcohol funkiness, Missouri Wild Ale in the form of Side Project Brewing's Fuzzy. Yeah, that is a pretty label. Thank you very much. This comes courtesy of Dusty. Thank you very much, Dusty. TN Craft Beer, I believe. I don't know. I forget shit. But Tennessee, basically Tennessee. TN Craft Beer on the Instagrams. He kind of reached out and said, "Hey man, love to see you review some Side Project." And I was like, sure. And less than a week later, I have Side Project. So that happened. Thank you very much, dude. Super appreciative. These are the kind of beers that people kind of are geeking out about right now when it comes to kind of sour wild ale, secondary market stuff. It's been going on for a while, so I'm sure the uber kind of crazy person has kind of passed it already, but it is what it is. We're going to drink it. Fuzzy, like I said, it's a Missouri Wild Ale with Missouri peaches, white peaches. That's it. Awesome label, cool texture, great design. Green bottle. Let that get a little bit light struck because that's what they wanted to do. And I need my keys. Where'd I put my keys? Winner. So, let's see if I have like the worst key opener on my keychain here. So, oh Jesus Christ, it actually hurts. Oh my God, this is actually professional. Like, look at that. This thing does not want to come off. I actually should have known that before I brought this out here. Like the last one, I reviewed one last night, and that thing did not want to open at all. So look at that. I fucking win. I win. End of review. But anyway, get this tiny little glass here so I don't purposely pour too much into it because I'm going to give a little bit to my buddy Keith. He says, hey man, I got some Side Project. He loves the funky wild stuff, so share and share like. Dirty Glass Mafia, I washed the shit out of that glass, but you can see just a rich kind of golden haze to it. Beautiful, kind of like almost semi-aggressive kind of carbonation, especially from those kind of dirt mafia bubbles kind of floating up there with a white as white could be head. It looks like peach juice, to be perfectly honest with you. It just looks like a beautiful kind of sour. Let's see if we can get a nose in this sucker. Just that, it's funk. It's Saison funk. It's tart funk. It's your, it's your whole Farmstead, your Suarez, that kind of mixed culture, Jester King kind of mixed culture fermentation kind of funkiness with a huge peach skin, peach fleshiness vibe going on. Sure, you get a little bit of soft peach juice in there, and that's fine. There's a sweetness to it, yada, yada, yada. But it's more that kind of yeasty, sitting on the skin kind of peach orchard driven stuff. If you've never had a fresh peach off of a tree and just ate it, shame on you, because that sucks. But if you have, there's like almost like a dirt kind of on it, and that's kind of just the natural flora and fauna of the fucking environment kind of clinging to it, but a lot of it has to do with kind of that, it feels like a kind of organic kind of yeast culture thing. That's kind of what you're getting in here. You can derive a lot of those kind of notes and flavors from peaches, or get those peach flavors from just yeast. But here it feels like a bold combination of the two. You're getting it from the yeast, and you're also getting it from those kind of peach additions. It smells pretty. Pretty is the word. Let's dive in. Cheers. Oh, that's sour. Woof. Man, that is joltingly sour. It's not the most sour beer I've ever had, but based off the nose, I did not expect it to reach that level. That is like Warhead's kind of, it's very sweet, but it's equally as sour. So when you drink it, you get this big sweet component, you get this huge sour component. So it's just like ripping and tearing your kind of taste buds apart in a very fucking electric, very fun kind of way. Wow. Aggressive. But I talked about this with the other one. Aggressive, but in a very purposeful and suitable way. It's not over the top. I know that's kind of hard to believe based off of my initial reaction and everything like that. But this is what this beer wants to be. And it's not trying to be a challenge sour like a lot of the older Cascades that were just, let's see how sour we can get. This is really sour, but I can still drink it. It's giving me a little bit of the warning of the heartburn, but it's not getting even close being super heartburny. So to me, this is by far and away, let's put it this way, by far and away my favorite uber sour beer. I would consider this uber sour. I know some people out there would be like, this is child's play when it comes to how sour it is. But for me, this is about as sour as a beer has gotten, while at the same time, I still really enjoy it. So, back to the actual beer and what it tastes like, instead of me just going, hey, it's really fucking sour. I mean, peaches for days. It's definitely fleshy. It's kind of like when you eat that flesh, the really dark, kind of purpley, pinky, fleshy part that gets right next to the stone, or it has a little bit of tartness to it. That's kind of what's driving the beer. You get the sweetness of that rich, overripened peach that has a bit of tartness going on in there. It's absolutely 100% mouth puckering, but it also has a nice, sultry, silky mouthfeel to it. It's not thin, but not thick. Exactly what you expect from a beer, or what you'd want from a beer like this. Bit drying. This is, it doesn't say anything about wood in here, so I assume that is all yeast driven, but I mean, come on, is this aged in Foudres or something like that? I don't know, but it has a nice drying component. Like, if you tell me it's all yeast, fine, but at the same time, if you told me it sat in some neutral kind of oakiness, I would be like, that kind of makes sense. And it's literally just a acidic beer sour version of peach juice. In a very, very pretty way. I like it. I dig it. Like I said, this is typically at that sour level that gets a little bit too out of hand for me, but yeah, this does not. That's a good beer. Each sip, you're a little bit more acclimated to how tart it is. So then that impact plays a little bit differently. Ends up being a little bit more robust. You start to pick off a little bit more nuances, a little bit more funk, a little bit, not a less acidity, but the acidity isn't hitting you as hard. So you get a little bit of malty sweetness from it. You get a little bit more kind of the depth in the peaches and stuff like that. And you get even maybe like a little bit of soft kind of pepperiness from the actual yeast itself too. Fantastic beer, super fun, really awesome. The cows even love it, and it's tasty. Thank you very much, Dusty. This is a really fun beer to try. And probably one of the, like I said, most impactful sours I've had in quite some time in a really positive way. So let's talk about it. Is it one of the better sours, period, I've had as of late? Actually, it's going to default there, because I would say I've really just been drinking a lot of tart, funky, barely sour stuff. I don't get down with over-the-top sour. I would classify that in that realm. So it would almost default to one. If I lump all that together, if I lump your tart, slightly acidic kind of saison in with sour, I think this is still up there. So let's put it that way. Value availability, I have no idea. Maybe somebody out there in Missouri way can let us know what's what and leave you with, if you like what, will you like this beer? If you like peaches, if you like acidity, if you like a sour beer to be a sour beer, this is going to do you proper. If you like good beer, because this is good beer. There you go. Another review in the books. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Down there if you want to talk about it. Massive Beers if you want to check me out doing the social media stuff. Beer Massive if you want to check me out doing the whole podcasting thing. And hopefully you guys enjoyed the review. Hopefully enjoying a nice little peach sour right now. And we'll see you next time. Cheers.